Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're here with your second installment of July's Saints you might not know so well.
And if you do know these really well, wow, do you know a lot about the Saints.
Yeah. You want to come work with us? I mean, we can't pay you anything, but, there might be a place for you here on our voluntary staff.
I mean, today the pay is a coffee cake.
There will be some
You don't get
snacks.
to take the coffee cake home. You get a slice.
You get a piece of the coffee cake.
Whatever the kids have not ate while we were busy filming.
So, starting out the second half of July, we have... Yes, it is the best month. I don't care what anybody else says. We have St. Fulrad, who is an abbot and a counselor of King Pepin and Charlemagne.
Ooh. On the 17th, we have Saint Generosus, a martyr whose relics are in Tivoli, Italy.
Ooh. On the 18th, St. Pambo,
Love that name.
who's also known as Pemwah, who's also known as Bemwah, who was a disciple of St. Anthony, who founded a desert monastery in Egypt, was friends with Saints Melania the Elder, Rufinus, and Athanasius.
We've got our first Athanasius of the second half of the month.
Yeah.
Love it.
And a Rufinus.
Oh, the Rufi. On July 19th, Saint Aurea, a martyr of Spain, who was a widow and a nun who was beheaded.
I will not be mean and make Jess do this one, because for a moment I toyed with the idea.
I can't speak Persian.
It's fair.
On the 20th, we have Saint Barhadbesciabas,
A.K.A.
Barhadbesaba, who was a martyr in Persia, then Persia, modern-day Iran now, was beheaded, but took multiple strikes.
Because the axeman was not good at his job.
Yeah,
Not like it was some miracle.
It was not the miracle
where,
one. It was not the miracle one. It was the other one.
Well, and let me compliment you, Nate, for throwing yourself before the Axeman of that name. On July the 21st, St. Julia of Troyes, who converted her soul, who was converted, who converted one of her executioners, but was still executed.
Maybe that one was Dutch. Converted.
Mm-hmm.
And they both were beheaded.
Jess, you got to do this one.
All right.
This one's tough, yeah, but I think you can do it.
All right. We
believe in you.
Saint Plato, who was a martyr, who was a brother of another saint who was not named after one of the three main Greek philosophers, so I can't say his name.
The brother of Saint Antiochus.
So I've gone with Antiochus.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, they both work as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
On the 23rd, we have Saint Rasyphus and Ravennus, who were hermits and martyred, possibly by the Goths. Those people in their dark eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Now this was the more western end of the Goths, so they weren't the Goths at the time in location of, I believe, St. John of the Goths from last month.
Oh, okay.
Well, but I mean, the Goths, it's a pretty nondescript term. It describes a lot of people across a lot of time and space. On July 24th, Saint Wulfhade and Rufinus, princes and martyrs, thought to have been baptized by Saint Chad. There is, honest to God, a Saint Chad.
On the 25th, we have Saint Glodesind, who was a nun and an abbess, whose betrothed was arrested on what would have been their wedding day and then executed.
That's harsh.
Yeah. It's one of those...
All right, I guess I'll go to religious life now.
She wasn't one of the brides that died wearing the wedding dress. It was her fiancé got dragged out of the church, and she's like, guess I'll be a nun now.
I know.
This guy really doesn't want me to get married.
I know I asked you for a sign on whether or not this was the right thing to do.
But this is a bit much.
This was not the sign I had intended.
God
Could have just made it rain.
God is exactly as subtle as we allow him to be. Paul on the road to Damascus. On July 26th, we've got Blessed Andrew of Phu Yen, who is called the proto-martyr of Vietnam.
Ooh.
Meaning the first martyr of Vietnam.
On the 27th, we have Saint Ecclesius, who is the bishop of Ravenna, Italy.
Also, excellent name for your bishop.
Yeah.
Very churchy.
Saint Churchy. This one, though, I know this is Welsh, but I really want to hear Jess pronounce this one. I think she can handle. I think she can do it.
All right. On the 28th.
But again, full Welsh name alert.
Yep.
We have a Welsh saint of Saint Samson, who was a monk, a hermit, an abbot, a bishop, a founder, and a missionary. He was a disciple of Saint Illtyd,
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
born in Glenmorangie, Wales, and traveled to Ireland, Cornwall, Brittany, and Normandy.
Glamorgan, Wales.
Okay.
Glenmorangie is the Scotch.
Cheers.
I don't know. Maybe it's like how there's Cedar Point and there's also Sandusky in Michigan. We're very close. Let's name it the same thing. Maybe we'll get the travelers who want to buy Scotch.
The Cedar Point in Michigan is not nearly as much fun though as the one in Ohio. Sadly.
Although, like all the best things in Ohio, it's trying its best not to be.
Yeah, it's about as far away from
away
Ohio
from
as it can
It's
get.
a peninsula. It's virtually an island. Where were we? On July 29th, we've got Saint Faustinus, a disciple of Saint Felix, and who was not a martyr.
Now, apparently they solved the martyrdom of Saint Felix, so that's why it's a key point. And they died of old age.
And then died in his bed.
Ooh. I like this.
This name is great.
Yes, this is.
I'm confident that what we love is a mispronunciation of it, but still.
No. I like this.
All right.
On the 30th, we have Saint Hatebrand.
Aw.
It's spelled like hate brand.
Who only wore generics.
But the thing I really like about this is that they were an abbot in Frisia, Netherlands.
A Benedictine abbot.
Yes.
And then, at the end of the month.
The best day. The best day of the year. I don't care what anybody else says.
So,
Especially for big fans of Ignatius of Loyola.
Yep.
So I got one that has a fun story. If someone wants to say where she's of, I can do the story.
Okay, well.
Saint Helen of Skovde.
She was a wife, a mother, and a noblewoman. And there's multiple stories, but in either case, she was accused of either killing her son-in-law
Dun dun dun.
or masterminding it with his servants.
Dun 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 dun.
And either then was executed for the crime or was killed by angry relatives of her son-in-law.
Street justice.
Mm-hmm. And in any case, it was then determined she had absolutely nothing to do with it. This was just the servants.
They executed or murdered an innocent woman.
And she was actually away on pilgrimage when it happened, so if they were accusing her of actual murder, that was, right out.
Yeah, because she clearly had an alibi.
I was in the Holy Land. Rome.
That is a pretty good motive. I was on pilgrimage.
I couldn't have done it. Look, I'm a good and holy person. I was going on pilgrimage.
Well, apparently she went on pilgrimage because her husband died, so she did the, selling off my stuff, going on pilgrimage.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know at that time, is that what you did, essentially the equivalent of taking a Caribbean cruise after your divorce or what? Because, she was a noblewoman. There's no information on how well her and her husband got along, besides that, she did not kill him either.
Well,
I feel
they
this
had a
is,
son-in-law die.
I don't know. I feel like this is a practice that should maybe be brought back around. You experience a massive loss in your family.
You take a little trip.
You go
someplace sunny.
I was gonna specifically state you go on pilgrimage, but
But,
that would be
most
good.
all the pilgrimages, the big ones, you got Rome, of course.
Yeah.
You got the Holy Land.
Yeah.
You could do the El Camino, where you end up in Spain. They're all nice, sunny areas.
There are very few pilgrimages to Norway.
Mexico
fjords.
City.
Also a sunny area.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I don't know, you had a minor loss, like your favorite sports ball player got traded. I suppose you could go to
Now,
Wisconsin for pilgrimage.
As to
There are several credible pilgrimage places in Wisconsin.
There are.
It's a valid spot. I'm just saying, it's not, I'm changing my complete life and everything. Let's go see Our Lady of, I know it's not of the cheese, but I still want to say
should
cheese.
Be. So should be.
Don't they have like a shrine to Our Lady of Guadalupe
They do.
in Minnesota?
In Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin, yeah.
But I'm saying there's, the actual the only Marian sighting in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, that's been proved.
And there's a guy at church who was always talking about a place he's from called Holy Hill. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's a hill. I've seen it. It's beautiful.
Does it have like a bunch of grottos? I might have been there when I was a kid on a family trip once.
I don't know. We never talk about the grottos, but it might. It very well may. Well, we'll do an episode on pilgrimage sites in Wisconsin. They'll mostly be about cheese and some beer.
I don't know. Are we letting?
I don't
Anthony
know.
on?
You talk about pilgrimage sites. I mean, I'll have to go and see what Anthony's schedule looks like.
God help me, I just can't stop myself.
It's just always interesting. Whatever he comes up with.
It is interesting. It's like a train wreck. You just can't look away. So, those are the saints of the back half of July. Give this episode a like, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified next time we talk about obscure saints.
And remember, until next time, to live your faith.
Love your faith.
And share that love.